Nicked is a game for young people to play to explore issues around child criminal exploitation, county lines and grooming. The idea is that they will work out which one of their friends has been arrested, in what location and with what substance.
So to start the game, you unfold the game board and you will give each player one of the cross-off sheets, and you would put out one of the substance tokens on each of the locations. Each player will pick a character and start at a different location. Then what you need to do is find the burner phone. The player who has the burner phone starts the game. Shuffle each of the who cards, the what cards and the where cards, and pick one of each at random to put into the police report file. You would then put the envelope in the middle of the board, and the rest of the who cards, the what cards and the where cards with the burner phone will get shuffled together and then shared out between the players. If you're playing with fewer players, when you're handing out the cards at the beginning, you would give a few cards to each player as normal, and then any extras you can leave them face up around the board, and everybody's able to eliminate those ones directly. Just helps to make the game a little bit faster. Each player will need to keep their cards secret from the other players, and the same with their notepad as they're crossing it off. The player with the burner phone starts first, and they'll take the dice and roll. You can go in any direction on the board, it doesn't really matter, and you don't need to go into a door to enter a room. Once inside a room, you can make a guess as to what substance and what person, but you have to guess the location that you're in. So for example, I'm in the school, I can guess 5 ounces of skunk cannabis from Yuri in the school, and I would put the skunk cannabis in the school as well. And then I would go to the player on my left and ask them, do you have any of the 3 things that I've said? So skunk cannabis, Yuri, or the school. And if they have any one of those things, they need to show just me that card. They only need to show me one of those things. So even if they have all 3 of the things I've mentioned, they would only need to show me one of those cards. Once I've seen that card, I can cross it out on the case file notes. If the player next to me doesn't have any cards at all that I've said, it will carry on around the circle until I found someone who does have one of that cards. If a player lands on one of the stars, they are able to select one of the bonus cards. These are the ones that don't say what, who or where on the back. And if you take one of these, this one for example says snitched, choose one player to snitch. They must choose one of their cards and leave it face up. One of the bonus cards is the sneakers cards. If you get this one, it acts as a secret passage. So you would take the 2 sneakers and place one in the starting location and one in the ending location, and then any players who land in either of those locations are able to sort of jump from one to the other. So remember to keep detailed notes of the information that you find out about who, what and where, because the idea of the game is that eventually you will be left with just one option from each, and then you will know who's in the case file. Then when you think you know what's in the envelope, you can make your guess, and you will open the envelope and see if you are correct. If you're correct, the game is over. If you're not correct, you would not tell anyone what you've seen, put these back in the envelope and let the other players continue playing. The real learning comes at the end of the game when you can facilitate some really interesting conversations, for example about the sort of significance of the different locations, the sort of risk factors that each of the characters sort of demonstrate. And on this card you also have the sort of penalties for each substance and a little bit of information around them. And on the other side, you can sort of see who is the real mastermind behind the whole operation. Don't forget, if you get stuck, you've got the printed rules and the information for the session plan. The main point is to have fun and have some interesting conversations, so don't worry about it. And that's how you play Nicked.